subscribers. Now, just so you know, it does not cost to subscribe. And if you really want to make the people at Gordon Truth on YouTube Live and subscribe to our Chations button, and you'll always know when we put up a new, to come over to Jon Gordon, watch it wherever you want to, but I really would like you to subscribe to our site because that only increases our numbers, and that's how we can get better guests and provide you better content. So please do us that small favor if you would. It's free, doesn't cost you anything, and thank you for your consideration on that. Tina Peters is going to come up in the second half hour, and then we've got Paul Renner. He is a candidate for governor in Florida. He is a Republican candidate in the primary, running against Byron Donalds, and this young guy, what's his name? Fishback. He's a millennial and seemingly come out of nowhere, and he's really getting a lot of steam. And then the current lieutenant governor is also on the ballot. President Trump has endorsed Byron. As put off as I was by her, I was really drawn to Paul Renner. He's smart. He was educated at Davidson College. Then he went to the University of Florida Law School. He has been the Speaker of the Florida for, I think, 20 years, and also has worked as a prosecutor. He's just a really impressive guy. So if you're in Florida and you want to know who to vote for governor, watch the interview. You Paul Renner, as I did. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're a Byron Donalds fan. I'm not feeling it. And why Trump endorsed Donalds so early, I really don't understand it. You know, he's got a story, mostly good. He grew up in poverty, where you have one primary industry that drives the economy. In Florida, not only do you have agriculture, but you've got real estate development that is on fire. On fire from Jacksonville to Orlando to Tampa to Clearwater to Miami and West Palm Beach, where we're sitting right now. I mean, it's unbelievable how much investment is coming into this. Nevertheless, they were also motivated because they like Miami, where they just happen to have a condo. And so Miami is a vibrant, very fast-moving city. And then you've got Space Coast, where Elon reside, just a couple of hours north of here. And so there are a lot of moving parts and a lot of complicated, hey, be quiet, Aura. My dang Grok. She's listening when I'm not even talking to her. Let me kindly ask her to be quiet. Okay. Sorry about that. Anyway, it's a complex environment, a complex state with a lot of moving parts. And it's a big state, a heavily populated state. So my conclusion is I don't think Byron Donalds is up to the challenge. I do like this guy. I also am anxious to learn more about Fishback, and I'm learning more about the current lieutenant governor who's also in that race. We'll see how it shakes out. And at some point, I'll tell you who I'm going to vote. Mind my own business. Or you can write me, jongordontruth@gmail.com, and ask me what I think about a given topic or issue, or tell me what you think. I read every email and try and respond. I think I respond to most people, if even it's a thumbs up. All right. A lot of stuff going on in the news this week. One of the things that I'm focused on is our U.S. economy. Folks, we're witnessing a melt up. Now, for the 100th time, but do you remember that I have been telling you that I did not understand why Americans are paying more at the pump for gas when we don't buy a single drop of fuel or oil from Iran? Why? And we're energy independent. All of our petroleum comes from inside the U.S. So why would that cause American oil companies to raise the price of gasoline? Well, they released their earnings this week, and their earnings were up gargantuan. So much so that Trump said it was too much. Exxon and Mobil at the expense of the American people. So, gentlemen, if you're the CEO of one of those companies, I really encourage you to think about your pricing strategy, because Trump is watching you and things are going to get awfully dicey if you don't get your house in order and give us Americans the price relief that we deserve. None of our oil comes from Iran. And U.S. gas prices should not be going up, because all of our oil and production and refinement is inside our 50 states. So get real. Stop punishing the American people because you think you can blame it on the war in Iran, for which you have no consequence. So Trump sees it, and I've been saying it for several weeks, if not more months, and we're seeing those chickens now coming home to roost. Well, if you watch the mainstream media, all you hear about is socialism and this guy what is it? Where is his name? Abdul Khamenei, and he's an avowed communist. God help. Fan their flames way too much. Why don't we just basically ignore them? Why are we really keeping them in the news? Well, we keep them in the news because they make people mad. And evidently, that's the way to get people to watch your program. Well, I've never sat here and tried to make anybody mad. I may have made them mad, but it wasn't because I was trying to be mean or push their buttons. I just, call them out on their stories when I don't think they're telling the truth. But aside from that, we're really giving people like Abdul El-Sayed way too much attention. He is running for the United States Senate, and he is running from a swing state, that would be Michigan, and he did win the Democratic nomination. Republicans do real well on ballots when they're running against a communist. Here's President Trump.
El-Sayed, can you believe this? There's a frickin' thing he can do about it. There's not a thing he can do about it because he hates him. But the socialist candidate ran up big margins against the communist candidate in Detroit. And I was saying that probably it's corrupt. It's probably corrupt. I don't know who the hell they wanted. I couldn't care less.
We're having to run a Republican against him. I mean, that's really scary. President Trump expresses his frustration in this same context, actually, with the mainstream media. He published on Truth Social. What is the one, Anthony? And that's why they call it fake news. That he had an endorsement that did not win. But anyway, he endorsed somebody and had 29 endorsements, and 28 of them won. That's pretty staggering. I wish I had won when Trump endorsed me when I was running for Attorney General. We just got in way too late. But anyway, I was honored to have done that. Wish we could have run, or could have won, I should say. But anyway, the mainstream media does not tell the truth.